Hello, welcome to my YouTube. Today I am going to give you spoilers for Midnight Mass. So, if you haven't watched it, turn this off right now because it's an amazing series and I don't want to give away anything that might ruin the series for you because it was so good and I enjoyed it so much. And director, it's Mike Flanagan, I think. How do I say his name? I really like the director. The director has actually done a lot of horror movies in the past. He's a super talented director, and it just shows you that if you write your own stuff, you could potentially get places. I really do feel a lot of his projects he has written himself, and he does cast a lot of the same actors, which I thought was really interesting, that he has cast them in previous projects. So that's a good tip for any actors watching, that if you if you work with the director once, he'll be more likely to put you in other things. And one thing that I liked about his work is that there's so many really intense, long monologues for the characters, and the characters all were really fully developed characters. Now, I've watched a lot of horror movies, so much horror movies, and a lot of the times it's just the horror movies are kind of either really cheaply done or just they don't really give the character as an actor. It's so important that they don't give the character that 360 kind of degrees of fullness. And one thing that I like about Mr. Flanagan in this movie, in this series, movie, because I watched it in like 2 days, so it felt like a movie, is that he really develops a character, and we follow Riley, who's this kind of handsome guy who just he killed somebody in a drunk driving accident, and it just shows how it ruined and destroyed his life, and it's really sad. And he's getting out of jail and going back to this town, this island that he grew up on, and the people of the island are all looking at him like he's the outcast. And then we see all of the weird people in town, and my favorite character on the show is this character called Bev Keane. And Bev Keane is it's just your stereotypical super religious woman who does everything by the book, but deep down inside, she has some real issues going on. Now, FYI, if you are a religious person, this might offend you a little bit. I am Catholic, so there are some things in it where I was just thinking, oh my goodness, my grandparents would get very upset about me for even liking this show. But I think it did say a lot. It said a lot about God, and it says a lot about how things are, and I love the idea of it. So we have the one of the main characters is this priest, and I forget what is his name. The priest's name is Dennis, I think. What was his name? Oh wait, maybe that's his name. I forget the priest's name, but the priest the priest goes back in time, basically. The town saves their money, and they send him to Israel, or the motherland, because they say, oh, he should go there and experience it. And he goes there, and it's just, he finds this demon character, and the demon character, it's just really super intense. The demon character bites him, and he goes from being this old man, because he was old, to being his young self again. But we don't know that throughout the whole series. And we see this young priest come to town and say, oh, Father, I can't remember his name right now, I'm trying to blank, but Father, he will, I did watch this about a week ago, so I'm sorry. And it's just kind of, it's just really intense. So he comes back as this younger character, but then he's pretending to be a different person. And we realize throughout the season that he's like a vampire priest. It's weird. He's like a priest vampire. And I actually talked about this show. I was watching it on Jeff Richards' podcast, and everyone's been asking me, what's the show? What's the show? So I thought I have to do a review of the show, because it was Really, really great. I mean, I was really upset. Spoiler alert. So if you are going to watch this, stop watching this right now. One of the main characters, I won't say his name, passes away. And it's very surprising how he does pass away. But these characters who the priest bites, some of them will live, some of them don't. And he ends up attacking him. And then this character lives, but then decides he doesn't want to become a vampire. So he goes out in the boat with his love interest. He tells her about life, and then he dies. And it's right before he dies, and it's weird because they had a conversation like the night before he does this, where they were like, "What do you think happens when you die?" He sees a vision of he had all these visions of the girl that he killed throughout the series of this, just her angry, and then he sees her looking beautiful again. So it's kind of nice to know. It's like, oh, they're saying he's at peace. It was just a nice kind of 360 gratification for the viewer to be like, okay, even though he's dead, he's at peace. But then we see this Bev character who is she is the most crazy character, and she is trying to convince the townspeople that this priest and what he's doing is okay, and he's the Messiah, and then with him, they're all going to live forever. So she convinces him to get all of the church people there to lock the town down, and he's going to turn them all into these vampires. And I don't think the priest realizes it. And his daughter is fighting, it is an intense show, and it was so good. I don't want to give too much of it away if you guys want to watch it, but if you are horror fans and you like scary stories, which I love, there's something about a good scary story that just makes life so much more exciting. I suggest that you totally watch it. What other things are there in there that I can tell you about? Oh, I mean, besides, being the bottle of youth and going back to your youngest self, when you get this venom, they start giving people the blood of this demon. So during the sacraments, everyone's drinking this demon blood, and they're getting their bodies cured of any ailments, which there was somebody who was pregnant, and then all of a sudden she's no longer pregnant, but there was somebody who couldn't walk, and now she can walk, and there was somebody that was having Alzheimer's, and now she looks young again. So it was definitely really interesting to see how it was affecting everybody and what was happening, and it was a really very, very exciting story. I highly recommend watching Midnight Mass. Mike Flanagan did an amazing job and is a great director, so I totally think you should watch it. Thank you for watching this, guys. I had so much fun watching this show. Let me know in the comments below if there's any other shows you think we should watch together. Give this video a thumbs up. Do it right now. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. All right. See you soon. Like this. Special shout out to all the Patreons.